See, components of physical fitness, the very first slide which we talked about, the physical fitness components are there. Then aerobic endurance, anaerobic capacity, all these things have to be developed through different kinds of physical activities. Which particular, madam will talk about it, which particular system is important when we talk about 100-meter running? The coaches, the teachers, the trainers who are involved with their students must know that it is this particular system, ATP-CP system has to be triggered, has to be trained. For that, you have to make the individual to work accordingly. So the load has to be always at such a level whereby you trigger this particular system and you develop this system. So higher intensities of loads will be very extremely important if you are to develop the speed of an individual. It may start from 80% and go up to 100%, and when we talk about weight training, it may go beyond 100% also, but the movement will be restricted. We'll talk about that later on. So, the strength is the base for all the performances. Whether you are a sports person, whether you are a sedentary person, and you have moved on from one age to another age, strength plays an important role. Especially when you go older than 40 years, start work on your strength. Otherwise, the degeneration in muscle will cause you faster aging than any other thing, and you will have a problem. So, what kind of strength is to be developed? When I talk about weightlifting, I require maximum strength and I require explosive strength. These both strengths play a dominant role in the weightlifting. Whereas when I talk about powerlifting, it is slightly different. The maximum domination is done by the maximum strength because the movements are just rhythmic and the movements are not high energy burst movements. So we have to be very particular about that.
Well, friends, we have Honorable Sports Minister Dr. Tiwari. Let's give him a big round of applause. Let's welcome him. Thank you. So, you please continue.
Okay. Continue, sir. Thank you. So, we have to be very particular when we are talking about the strength aspect. Which kind of strength? Maximum strength, explosive strength, or strength endurance. So, you should be very careful and you should be well aware of what sport you are tackling with. If you are training an individual in a weightlifting sport, it is dominated by which kind of strength? You have to be particular about it. That is I will improve maximum strength. I will improve explosive strength, which is required for two-hand snatch. So, therefore, unless or until you are aware of which are the components dominating in the sport, you cannot improve it. So you should be very categorically having the knowledge about which sport has which dominating components, whether it is physical fitness component, whether it is psychological aspect required, or whether it is technical and tactical aspects to be perfected upon. Then we have speed. As I have already told you, speed plays a very important role in wherever there is some reactions have to be done. So you, in 100 meters, as I have said, when we talk about the speed, it is the reaction ability which plays an important role at the start. We have then followed by movement ability, frequency of movement, we have acceleration ability, we have maintenance of the speed, and finally, with an aim to reduce or to just finish off deceleration phase of the 100-meter race. Then agility, flexibility and coordination. Agility, all the team sports play an important role whereby from where in football the ball will come to a goalkeeper? Nobody, he doesn't know. Where a spiker is going to spike the ball, player knows, may not know. But different directions he has to react to while he is training or while he is competing in the game. And flexibility and coordination plays an important role in the sense that if a body is not flexible, the range of motion, the range of movement will be decreased. The causing of range of movement decreasing, the decrease in the amount of force developed. So you have to have an appropriate level of flexibility so that you can see that the skill is being taken care of in a 100% manner. Now when we talk about structuring a training lesson, how we structure a training lesson, the first is check, readiness check of the athlete. Is the athlete ready to take the training load for today or not? So in that case, we check whether he is healthy enough, whether he is well hydrated, whether he is recovered completely, had good sleep. All these things have to be checked prior to loading an individual in a particular training session. Then, what are we going to do in this training session? I say that, okay, today I am going to load you in this weight training session with an intensity of 70%. The objective is to have a sub-maximal kind of load. So to have a sub-maximal kind of load, I have already prepared the draft in the previous day, because the same has to be duplicated today. So in that case, we brief the individuals accordingly. Proper warming up, how much to warm up plays an important role. There is nothing. Sometimes you may require 10 minutes, sometimes you may require 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 25 minutes. So it depends upon individual to individual. Then skill or speed work has to be done. Coordination work has to be done. All sprints, all strides, all types of coordination, all agility works in the training session prior to the application of the main technical session. Main physical training session or the main part of the training session, which amounts to around 1.5 hours or so, approximately, that is the most crucial, most important, whereby you concentrate upon technical aspect of the sport, the tactical aspect of the sport, every technique to be repeated and duplicated and practiced year after year for long duration. It is not that you perfect a volley pass or perfect a setter can perfect his set pass by just practicing 10 repetitions. He has to go for 2,000, 3,000, even 10,000 repetitions. It's not so easy that you feel that a sportsman who is achieving at the international level gets everything in 5 days or 10 days. He has worked for years to achieve that status. And today in Commonwealth Games, we are standing number 4 with 13 medals, and the maximum medals came from the women folk. And that too from the boxing sport. It was so encouraging, so motivating to see our women leading the show. Out of 13, they got 8 medals in the Commonwealth Games. 8 gold. 8 medals means 8 gold medals. Then integrated practice and cool down, as I said earlier also. I have loaded the individual so much that once he goes back to his room or to his home, he must have recovered. Thank you.